right, recording is in progress, and we have a fan on the computer to keep it cool. Okay. So we are on Zoom, we are on Facebook, and we're being recorded. So, and now our gathering, we've come together. Let us, with the devotees here and devotees in your homes, let us chant the mini Vandanam as we do. So together we can chant. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanditam Tam Sahajivam Sadvaitam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha Om Ajnana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Trije Namaha Hare Krishna. Oh yes, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, so on a beautiful sunny day in Srila Govinda Ashram, and we saw a beautiful sunny day in Thailand, in Sri Govinda Farm, with video and the pictures of the progress of the temple. So service means pleasing Guru and pleasing Gauranga, and Gauranga is certainly pleased when Guru is pleased. And we know that Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisanta Govinda Goswami Maharaj, he'd be very happy to see his wish coming true. A temple, Thai-style temple, taking shape in northern Thailand. And so we have this beautiful temple taking shape, really taking shape with the tiles on the roof. And as I mentioned to Paramananda yesterday, through the photos, I could smell the wood and smell the working taking place, could feel very much the happenings there. So I think we can come to Paramananda Prabhu first, and he can just share a little bit about the progress of the temple and any other news from Chiang Mai, and then we'll continue from there.
Well, the progress has been made every day, little by little, little step at a time. So we're not rushing, but rather focusing on the quality. And the team is very good, and everything is manifesting smoothly so far, which is not always the case. The challenges always come. But somehow, surprisingly, and I wish it will continue in that way, even though it's just my wish, man proposes, God disposes, that it will go in such a smooth way till the October for the opening. But lots of things to do, and we do encourage devotees to come ahead of the festival if they have some free time, like Savitri, for example, to help us prepare for the festival. You can come for a few months, actually. That would be very good. And you can continue studying. Anyone who is free to come, please do come. Lots of seva is awaiting here. And I mean, it is the wish of Govinda Maharaj, otherwise how is that possible in general? Obviously, it wasn't conceived by me. I have very little to do with this whole idea. And fortunately for me, I've been used to some extent as an instrument, but really a big credit goes to Krishna Priya, Lilamoy and Ramsundar for continuing with the daily programs here. So really, it's not that much different from any ashram. The only difference is the size is bigger and the seva is bigger and the people are very few. That's the only difference we can see. But somehow it is all going on. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Sri Guru Taranam. So even though we may think, oh, that's inconceivable, how is that possible? How is this possible? But we hear that by the grace of the Guru, the impossible becomes possible. Also, if we remember Lord Gauranga's lotus feet again, impossible things become possible, very easily attainable. And something that is very easy and we don't remember about Lord Gauranga becomes very difficult, surprisingly so. We're remembering with Lilamoy yesterday how it's difficult, even though we're surrounded by so many Vaishnavas, we can say. Srila Prabhupada, he did this huge distribution of Mahaprabhu's mercy around the world. And even though we're surrounded by so many, but to keep it clean and pure is not easy. And that current cannot be found everywhere with the same strength to the same degree. But it can readily be found in Srila Guru Maharaj's teachings, Srila Govinda Maharaj's teachings, and his sincere followers. Really inconceivable. We've been reading the treasure, devotional treasure chest. Yeah, devotional treasure chest.
Yes.
Treasure chest, and so much nectar is there. The words of Srila Guru Maharaj, and him envisioning things that are already not happening. It's already happened. His vision, divine vision, is also manifested. And in Kali Yuga, I mean, it's very challenging. We're remembering some verses that Guru Maharaj included in Prapanna Jivanamritam. One of them describes the senses in Kali Yuga. The senses become very powerful enemies. In the previous yugas, they're always enemies. But in the previous yuga, it was easier to control to some extent. But then Srila Paramananda Saraswati points out that in this age of Kali, they're becoming very formidable enemies, difficult to defeat. And what is even worse is that the illustrious path of bhakti is overgrown by misconceptions. One thing is that the path is non-existent when you're trying to find it. But when the path is there and is overgrown with the weeds of misconceptions, becoming difficult to navigate. You have to be more and more careful and go a little bit more exclusive in your search for the divinity. And that's when, again, Srila Guru Maharaj's teachings come. And it really is like the light in the darkness. Anyhow, so we're very happily reading and happily observing the manifestation of the divine will of our guardians, hearing their messages every day and trying to utilize it. Sounds
very good, huh?
Anything from Lilamoy? He's right here, seeing the progress every day, every moment.
Yeah. Somehow we have to realize our great fortune to be connected with this line and really try somehow to keep this alive inside of us. And as always, Srila Madhusudan Maharaj giving emphasis to us about our sadhana, about our daily reading, about our association with the other devotees. And that's it. This is the basics of our life. This is the basics. This is the way to keep ourselves alive. This is the only thing that matters. The spiritual world alive inside of us. and keep the flame alive, and feed this flame, this keep uh, not keep the flame pebble
Feeble.
feeble feeble fire. And yeah, and the progress, it's really amazing to see how big, and how every single detail, and it's very, very, no words to describe. And in October, we're going to have a really, really amazing festival. I'm really looking forward to meet with the devotees again, and be with the devotees. That's what we need. More or less this.
Okay, so Lilamoy Prabhu, are you teaching the devotees there how to cook, or are you being taught by devotees there how to cook? After all, that's also all we need.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just learning from everyone. That's what I'm trying to do. Don't have any capacity to teach. But yeah, sometimes someone comes, asks some tips, and we can share something. But
I mean, he's been making the same soup for the last week, and he's got real good at it. I think repetition is the path to success.
yes.
Not complaining. I mean, Giraj looks pretty happy. I'm certainly happy.
Well, you know, Muktinath Prabhu, he has told me this is a little while ago, but you know, he was staying, actually he's there now too. He was staying in Sri Chaitanya Sarasat Math. And for the first time that he'd stayed there for some time. And he said, I've heard about this rice, dal and sabji, rice, dal and sabji, rice, dal and sabji. He said, but here I am, I'm taking this rice, dal and sabji, rice, dal and sabji, like this every day. But I'm finding it's always new and it's fully satisfying. And so anyway, he's in the land of prasadam. And earlier today, we were reading about how the solution is in one thing. I mean, we get these different one thing, only this, but that the solution is in prasadam. So Giriraj is looking happy to get one soup every day. But in Navadip, really, we had one meal every day. And even with my eyes closed and not having heard, I can pretty much guarantee that their lunch today was rice, dal, and sabji. But not tomorrow. Why not tomorrow?
Ekadashi.
Tomorrow is Ekadashi, right? And tomorrow is a special Ekadashi because it's the Ekadashi which marks the beginning of the Navadip Dham Parikramas. So, I mean, unavoidably, our mind, our heart, our thinking being transported to Navadip. And it is good to be transported to Navadip. Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, they want us to remember the source of our good fortune. And that, of course, is their divine graces. Really, that is the source of our good fortune. But that source has come from the place of Navadip, not only Navadip, but of Koladip, not only Koladip, the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati. So our minds and memories and thoughts have been going to Navadip. And actually, Muktinath Prabhu also sent some pictures, which I was happy to see. He sent pictures too of the preparations taking place there now. When we were in Thailand, he told me his plan was he's going back to Kaliningrad, but you know, after the festival. But I suppose it is still after the festival in Puri. But he's somehow finding it difficult to leave India, and he's back in Navadip. And the devotees there told me that he's been very helpful and doing so much to assist. And now, of course, is the time when decorations go up and cleaning rooms, looking after visitors, all those things. So we're happy that he's doing that service. So tomorrow, yes, is Ekadashi, so not rice down sabji tomorrow, but I can still pretty much carve in marble what they will be having tomorrow. They'll be having a watery potato and green papaya sabji and watery sago, watery tapioca, with some little color of milk and a lot of sugar as a replacement of sweet rice. So that will be pretty much tomorrow with a few peanuts, baram in Bengali, as anybody who's been on a Bengali train knows pretty much. Baram, baram, they are calling as they go up and down the train. So with peanuts and with some fried potato, that's about it. So tomorrow, that will be their meal. And then next day, they'll be so happy because they'll be back to rice down and such giant. And tomorrow's meal, who knows where they will have lunch tomorrow? Paramananda, who knows? Kumkum knows?
Guessing.
Who's here who would know? Maybe Paramananda. Anyway, they'll have lunch tomorrow. I mean, if it's a normal parikrama that we did in our time, in Gurudev's time and Guru Maharaj's time, tomorrow's lunch is right down in Mayapur, long way down that one road, used to be one road, going down there past ISKCON, means past Srila Prabhupada's worldwide headquarters and his large Pushpa Samadhi, and then past the Sri Chaitanya Mat, the Yoga Pit, Advaita Acharya's house, the Kashi Mishra's tomb, and Chand Kazi's tomb, the magistrate of Navadip at that time. And then right down the road, then going to what's known as the Jagannath Temple, which has a whole history, how Jagannath came to be there. But mysteriously he manifested, and there behind that temple there is an orchard, mango orchard. And now is February. Probably the mango seeds, the seeds, blossom, going to be mangoes. This will presumably, now the end of February, be beginning to show in the mango garden. And also, if it was a regular year, because everybody or everyone all over the world says, every year they say, the weather, it's all changed since when I was young. So, the weather does change, but it used to be that tomorrow will be the first hot day in Navadip. The first day of Navadip Dham Parikrama, it'll be, we used to think it's like Krishna's little play with the devotees. They've been chilly, wearing some jackets and chadar in the morning. But then tomorrow, the first day of Parikrama, suddenly everyone's very hot. It's a hot day. So we can also predict that for tomorrow. The first hot day of 2027, the pilgrimage begins, going to Mayapur, going to Antodip, and lunch, Annukalpa, and no breakfast, never in the mat did they give breakfast. And so there's no breakfast tomorrow. They'll continue down to the Jagannath temple, and they will appreciate that Anukalpa, no doubt. And then what will happen? I know 95% of all those pilgrims are going to spend their hard-earned money on bribing a rickshaw driver to take them back down to the boat. And 5% will continue after lunch. I'm just predicting, not saying this exact figure, could be only 2%. Anyhow, very few will continue on to Simantadi and some of the places in Samantadi before returning, all by walk, back to the Ghat, which I also heard they've got a new Ghat, a moved Ghat. After all, a Ghat is just where the boat comes in and goes out. Back to the Ghat, and then back across the Ganges and back to the temple for the evening. But those who walk will get back in the evening. Those who come by public transport will get back mid-afternoon. So we've just taken you on a mini tomorrow parikrama. Hare Krishna. But whether we are on parikrama or not on parikrama, whether we are outside or inside, every day, then we should be chanting Hare Krishna, so that, on the beat, so that the beats do not fast. And every day we should be chanting Gayatri for those who receive Gayatri initiation. And Mayeshvari DD, she has a question about Gayatri.
Dandavats, Maharaj and all devotees. See if I can get my voice to work. It's very early here. And interestingly enough, it's cold here now, but tomorrow it's going to be very warm.
Okay, you can remember Navadi.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. So, yes, my question. On Monday, I was listening to the London Zoom about intention. And as I've been doing Gayatri each day, I have wondered about the meaning of the mantras, and I've tried to do a little research, but the only thing I've been able to find in the books is a description of the Gayatri mantra that I don't do. The one that, yeah. Anyway, so I've kind of surmised a little bit of intention for each of the two stanzas, but I wondered if you might enlighten me a little more as to how to hold the intention when chanting Gayatri.
Okay, so this is a question actually for us all, because I've in my whole life, I've not actually seen a translation of any of the series of Gayatri mantras into which we are initiated, as you say, except Srila Guru Maharaj's expansion of the Brahma Gayatri. Right. However, we can understand from the name, and we can understand from the words within the Gayatri, with each of the Gayatri mantras, that they are there to give honor and to remind ourselves, if you like, of this special position of Guru, of Gauranga, and of Radha and Krishna. And this is the Gayatri theme. And we've also heard Guru Maharaj and Gurudev at different times talk, something touching about the Gayatri mantras. And I do not know if in the books there is much along these lines, or if even what I remember is in any book. But we can say, you can understand the meanings of the words individually, that you can see by the Veda base, etc. Please don't just go to Google, go to Veda base or our books, but then you can see the meanings of the words. But everything begins with Guru, and Guru, he is giving the guidance about Krishna. And the point is, we will find it is not only focused to one point of person, but rather we are going to find that the whole environment is coming to guide us towards Krishna. And there we can pick up the thread where Srila Guru Maharaj is explaining that as we go along the journey, then the more we will be conscious of Krishna, Krishna conscious, in all circumstances, and we will see that the affectionate hand of Krishna is behind the environment. And so there is a section in Srimad Bhagavatam, which also is something like what the Avadut learned from the environment. And he said, I learned this from the trees, this from the mountains, this from the river, this from this kind of animal, this from, he learned things in different ways. But he's seeing how everything is taking him to Krishna and the joy of Krishna consciousness. So everything begins with Guru, and the environment will teach us more and more as we become more able to read the environment in that way that we are being taught from outside. And of course, Gauranga, he is the controller of everything. And so everything we know that the Lord is everywhere, the Lord is in every finest detail, but he's the controller of everything, ultimately. He knows everything, everything is there. And he knows that we are not happy and we need Krishna. We need Krishna consciousness. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu, that grand knower of everything and from whom everything comes, he is giving us this Krishna consciousness. So we must remember Krishna Chaitanya, which means Krishna consciousness. His name means Krishna consciousness. And then we are told that in the Krishna mantra, then the direct names are referring to Madana Mohan, who is Krishna, who is all attractive, his all attractive nature. And to Govinda, then Govinda who is reciprocating. So not only the Jiva souls are attracted, but Govinda is reciprocating with the Jiva souls, with affection, everything. And then Gopinath. And Gopinath is the Lord of the Gopis and is the epitome of intense, highest, bad English, but highest, topmost, loving interaction. And that is the Lord of the Gopis. So those three aspects are the three presiding principal deities of Navadip: Radha Madana Mohan, Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath. And then what are we doing? We are wanting to render service to them. Always service is there. It's not for us to try to turn on a switch so we see the pastimes of Krishna. Not like we are going to go to the theater or to the movies. But our engagement is through service. So the rendering of service to them. So this, Guru Maharaj and I heard fairly recently, but it was hearing, where Srila Guru Maharaj is saying about the Gayatri mantras, particularly are helping us to focus so that our chanting of the Maha Mantra is more directed. So we are not just chanting a mantra, just chanting without some focus, without some direction of our thought, etc. And we all know it's very easy to chant Hare Krishna, without any focus. But Nama Bas means inattentive chanting. So we are told to avoid the 10 offenses to the name, but also the 10 hazy chanting, indirect chanting of the names. And so this chanting of the Gayatri mantra will help us. Now that's, if you like, a little bit of a material idea, summary of what is being given there, or indication what's being given there. But we receive the mantra because it is living. We receive the Maha Mantra. We receive the living seed. And this is what is initiation. And so it is not a mental exercise. Nothing is a mental exercise, actually, except for us to control our mind. It is the cultivation of the creeper of devotion that's been given to us. And that life comes from life. Everyone's got a father, grandfather, grandfather, grandfather. None of us have, suddenly, oh, who's your grandfather? Oh, my father's father, he was a stone. No, it's not the case. Always it is life from life. And so our spiritual life, we are told from Guru Maharaj, from Gurudev, from the scriptures, this has to be given to us by somebody with that light, that life, that spiritual life. And the example given is, one example given is how a candle, he's got all the potency in the candle for fire, but he must be lit from another candle. And so we have these seeds, the living seed of devotion which has come to us. And Guru Maharaj, and actually Gurudev, we are reading in, what were we reading?
Sermons.
It was Gurudev, was it the introduction to sermons, one possibly, where Srila Gurudev, he is saying that we are very fortunate because we have got that genuine seed. Look at our masters, and he's saying we have these great masters, so we are very fortunate, we have got the seed. But now we must be good students. And if we don't cultivate those seeds in the way that we've been told by our master, it's not our master's fault, it is our fault. What will we do? Lilamoy Prabhu wasn't here. Oh, Lilamoy Prabhu joined us from Israel. Yesterday evening she arrived very happily. So anyhow, we were reading this from Gurudev. And so also showing we have the responsibility to be good cultivators of those seeds that have been given to us. And the Maha Mantra is given, and then presently when someone showing their faith, their steadiness, their eagerness, then the Gayatri Mantra is given because it needs a certain steadiness to begin with. And then is considered, as Guru Maharaj points out and recorded in the book Sri Guru and His Grace, considered that the Gayatri Mantra can be very helpful. After a certain kind of minimum steadiness and faith is already established, then the Gayatri Mantra can be very helpful. And even then it retires, and then still it is the holy name which will take us during that final part. I mean, the final is never final, but that topmost section, the entrance there, the holy name as given by our masters will be our main strength and current, that current. Paramananda Prabhu, does this sound all reasonable? Any correction or something for clarification for us all?
Of course, no correction, Maharaj. How can any correction come forward after that? But something comes to mind if we're just reading. Okay, I can just read the passage we've been reading this evening. Kind of, resonated after you were saying those things. It's description of Guru Maharaj, of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mood. He says, outwardly, the way of love was worshipped by him with grandeur, awe, and reverence. But his object was the simple and beautiful divine love of Raja. the internal. And Srila Guru Maharaj, she quotes his verse, the famous verse, Nikhila Bhuvana Morchinna Vichinnadat. And he's describing here that by touch of divine love crossing Vaikuntha, he has given us the worship of Radha and Govinda. And Srila Guru Maharaj explains his explanation of Brahma Gayatri, and whatever he does, actually, if you look at his and you hear him, the Bhagavad Shloki of Bhagavad Gita, anything, absolutely anything, he connects with the divine service and beauty and glories of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. It is all in all. Even the mantram of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mata, it is included there. The only reason for it to exist is to sing the glories of Srimati Radharani, the topmost devotee, to sing the glories of the devotee. So this is why Guru Maharaj, his interpretation always sees the presence of Srimati Radharani as the giver of Krishna consciousness, the giver of that divine service, the sole proprietor and distributor of that. So if you look at every mantra we are chanting for our Gayatri chants, starting from Brahma Gayatri, beautifully explained by Srila Guru Maharaj. Again, who is he glorifying there? Who is he pointing out that it again is the divine service and the personality of Srimati Radharani, her divine feet, lotus feet. And then Guru Mantra, Guru Gayatri. Again, a strong presence of Srimati Radharani there. Gauranga Gayatri, that's quite obvious. I don't have to explain that. And then Kama Gayatri, that is also very obvious because Krishna cannot be a Kamadev, and the one who possesses the bow and with the arrows that struck the heart with Pushpabana. He cannot be that Krishna without the presence of Srimati Radharani. It's impossible. He cannot be Madan Mohan. Impossible. He cannot be Govinda. Impossible. And he cannot be a Gopinath. Again, impossible. So it is her who is always present there. Even though it's very high and not something we have to dwell on, but we must say it because that was Srila Guru Maharaj's main point when he was pointing in those sometimes devotees would ask explanation of this verse, of that verse, the Gayatri verse, and then Chatur Shloki of Bhagavad Gita, and all of that. Even the churning of the milk ocean, what Srila Guru Maharaj says there, is that the divine pastimes of Raja. I mean, how is that even possible to conceive of? But for him, there is no other way of seeing that pastime but in that kind of light. He cannot see it otherwise. He's that kind of Vaishnava, high Vaishnava. Everything to him is connected to that. And that takes us to Srila Saraswati Thakur. And really, that's what he established when he came. Or so like Srila Guru Maharaj points out, he was mostly spending his energy and the gallons of blood establishing what is not Madhurya Ras, what is not that, in order for us and for everyone to understand what is true and what is not true, to follow the pure current, unadulterated current. So we have to mention that when that is kind of discussed among us, because it is what we hear from our Guru Varga. That's the only thing can be added, Maharaj.
And we discuss it and hear it very carefully, as always, keeping on our head, and it is their property, their conception. But this is the ideal, the life that they are offering to us. If we can just make our life follow the guidance of the masters.
With extreme caution and really following. It's good to remember and to meditate on that verse. Mattala Harijana Kirtana Rangi, Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bangi. It's a reason why it's there on the Nat Mandir for everyone to see before even entering the Nat Mandir, before you even start serving, start worshiping. That's the mood. It sets the whole mood. And we have to follow that. And anything that comes to us from that high plane, that's how it should be taken. On our head, with extreme humility, accepting it, but it's so high that we can worship to that. But not to enter that realm, not to rush where the angels fear to tread. Don't be the fools.
Hare Krishna. And by the way, Sevarupa, she's put in the itinerary for tomorrow's parikrama if you want to go, if you wish to go on parikrama tomorrow. Get your water bottle and leave your shoes, let your shoes at home. Don't forget, bare feet for parikrama. Take a good sun hat or an umbrella and off you go. But this morning we were also reading, and this is pointed out to me by one good soul yesterday, that Srila Guru Maharaj answers the question in the very first chapter, the very beginning of the first chapter of the book Holy Engagement. And a devotee asks Guru Maharaj, can you say something about Navadip Dham Parikrama? And Guru Maharaj, as Paramananda was saying just now, how Guru Maharaj is always looking and trying to get us to see the substance of what we are doing. And so Guru Maharaj didn't give any explanation about bare feet and take a water bottle. Rather, he gave the explanation of the conception behind the Navadip Dham Parikrama and the conception we should have while on Navadip Dham Parikrama, and why it is beneficial in our spiritual sense and the adjustment to the environment that we will learn about by hearing the pastimes, the topics, the stories of the great souls who have been in this place and that place, etc. And that the association of devotees, all of these things Guru Maharaj is mentioning first, and then something presently, about the, you could say, the physical side of the parikrama. But today is the Adivas day, and today, actually, I'm happy that Muktinath Prabhu is there, because it's the day when basically we would all be super busy all the way through until tomorrow. And I mean, often this time with not even 1 minute of sleep at night, getting all the preparations and everything. But now the temple got a bit more organized, and in the sense of they have money to pay for the decorators to do things. But generally, previously, the devotees did most of the things, the decorations, getting the leaves, making the strings, getting not getting the flowers, but the loose flowers would come, and then making all those decorations. And of course, receiving devotees. So the Adivas day is preparing for the pilgrimage, and the real preparation is our consciousness, as Guru Maharaj was pointing out. And chanting Hare Krishna on our japa, but chanting Hare Krishna in congregation. But chanting Gayatri is always private. It is our private time. We should try to keep that as our sacred time. It is our sacred time. And we should keep japa like that. There is, if you see Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and the do's and the don'ts, one should not speak while chanting japa. One should not talk while chanting japa. And we know that we do it, but it is good to know the ideal. But with the Gayatri, we actually do follow more strictly, that we don't talk while chanting the Gayatri, we don't do other things, we say it, and we don't speak it even with our moving tongue or moving lips. It's for us to, again, control the mind, to meditate. Kum Devinasi, Adivas Day of Navridam Parikrama. What advice are you going to give everyone today?
My Dandavat to all of the devotees and to you, Maharaj. I am so inspired to be taken through these talks back to being in Navadvip. And if only we could always be going on these parikrams. Sometimes when I went, it was not actually the time for Gorpanima, but someone would grace us with having many parikrams to visit as many of the holy places as possible. And of course, accompanied by lots and lots of kirtan, and we could take the book and read Navadvip Mahatmya and try to learn more and more about our grand heritage and what it means to be a follower of Mahaprabhu through this. So here in our ashrams, of course, we will be reviewing all of these beautiful pastimes. We want to understand more and more about who is Mahaprabhu. We're reading now in Chaitanya Charitamrita about the tree of Sri Chaitanya Dev and all the many, many branches and sub-branches. So we'd like to see that somehow or other will be included in this. And we heard of one today, which is not going to be mentioned, a follower of Sri Advaita through the one son. And I thought, oh, all right, so now I'm definitely mentioned. Well, these are considered useless.
Right.
But actually, this great society that we're invited into is incomprehensible by us, but we get to learn more and more through the association of the other devotees, and especially their awareness of what our gurus are actually telling us, what they're actually giving us all the time, and how much our gurus and all of the Vaishnavas actually understand how to uplift us. And it's not that we have some problem that they've never heard of before and they don't know what to do with us. Actually, they're answering from the viewpoint of how we will be benefited with our very best interest in heart. Often this comes through the environment. So that's why we're taught to not argue with the environment, because this may be precisely what is going to be guiding us toward how we can dive deeper into the mood. About a year ago, I was endeavoring for a very big desire, biggest desire I think in my life, which is to relocate, to make my environment surrounded by the constant association of devotees and the beautiful temple, and wanting to be in that. And it seemed like it was a long journey with many difficulties. And so I would say to myself, everything is up to Krishna's will. I have nothing to worry about, because Krishna will make this happen as he sees fit. And so I thought I had some understanding of this, have been practicing the concept for a while now. And then as the steps came and the obstacles apparently appeared, oh my goodness, I saw so much in myself that it's too much like lip service. It's not terribly deep yet. But as Maharaj mentioned, I'm now a resident here. Tomorrow is step 2 for my residency, which is very simple, but I think the main reason it seems simple compared to the first step is because I am surrounded by devotee association, and morning and evening at least, if not more, of hearing from our gurus and hearing the scriptures, and they all fit together, regardless of what book we are reading from. They're all tied together. They're all giving us the same blessed message all the time. So we, like Paramananda Prabhu was mentioned regarding the grand project of the manifestation of the temple, they are watching the divine pastimes of the Lord unfold. And we can also pray to see all of the events that happen in our own life as the manifestation of his divine will, and also be hearing about how it is for our best benefit, every single detail, regardless of what we may think needs to happen, exactly what should happen out of their kindness. That is what will come to us. And with the grace of the Vaishnavas, we'll try to proceed.
Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna.
And this is the expression of humility from the lady who Krishna fulfilled her wish to come, because it was a devotional wish. Hare Krishna. Indulekha Devidasi is with us also. Govinda and Tungarasa Devidasi. Ishwarananda Prabhu. You may think he's in Salt Lake City, but he's in London. So, doing valuable service. And Basil sending his dandavat to everyone too. Hare Krishna. And Nazar, our faithful, steady Nazar. This is Zoom, is his place of association. Not being able to come out at the moment from Ukraine, but taking this opportunity of Krishna's giving this facility. And Lilamoy Prabhu in Latvia. Jai. And I got a request, and I sent this to Suresh Krishna yesterday, from a devotee in America. And they are asking, we are very inspired last year in Latvia by raising the flag of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat at the retreat in Resegne or Jannapole, the tiny village with more storks than people, almost. I mean, funny little village. But this village in the countryside, last year at the retreat, then Suresh Krishna, he raised a big flag of Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And so I got a request yesterday. This is a great inspiration for us all to see raising the flag. Do you have any pictures or video? So Suresh Krishna today sent some pictures of that. But just a little reminder that what takes place in one place in the world, we may think, it's these devotees who are attending. But with this modern technology, the modern world, then what happens in a place called Jannapole? Look it up on the map. It's a small place. What happens in Jannapole, it's a retreat, is seen by all over the world. And it was a sincere devotee. I mean, all devotees are sincere, but a senior sincere devotee who asked me yesterday. And it's just a little illustration that we just need to do the right things, and by the inspiration of the devotees who are doing, others get inspiration, and it is very magnetic and very infectious, but infectious in a good way. Hare Krishna. Yours is Natalia from Brazil. You may have met in the last one or two Zooms. But she's sitting here with a notepad. What have you got to share with us? Anything?
I'm so grateful to be here.
Speak a little loud. The microphone's all the way over there. Yes.
All the votes. I just want to say I'm so happy to be here with the amazing devotees of Krishna. And for me, Seva is learning, talk is learning, observe all these amazing devotees is learning too. And I'm grateful. That's it.
And all the devotees very happy with her. She's a doer. She's always doing something and very steadily, whatever is required. So all the pillars and all the devotees are happy with her. Hare Krishna. Any question from anyone? Question you can give. Oh, Lilavati is here quietly. But you have to come further forward, Lilavati.
I have a big question.
She has a big question. Okay, well, Savitri's put up her hand, but here we'll have a question first. And so, Paramananda Prabhu, pay attention. This question may well be for you. It's a big question. But a little loud. We don't have this.
About Advaita, what we wrote today.
Oh, Advaita Acharya and his
Acharya.
son. Yes, okay.
Yes.
From Chaitanya
And we
Charitamrita.
know he is one of Panchatattva, but when we hear Advaitist, it's mentioned something not good. Right.
About a son, about the branch. Second.
Okay, well, this is in regard to the word Advaita, as opposed to Advaita Acharya, rather than, I think, the sons. So, Paramananda, this happily can come to you. That in the modern world, Advaitist, which I had never heard the word before, but doesn't carry a good feeling. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Are you speaking of Sri Advaita Acharya?
No, about the... No.
Well, Lilavati may ask in Russian, actually, then maybe I can understand more clearly, because I didn't get the question.
Mm-hmm.
No, about Advaita, про Адвайту как философское понятие. Вот они у меня сложились вместе. Адвайта, Адвайта.
Oh,
It's not this, это не то же самое, или как?
well, it is about Advaita Acharya, in actually Advaita Acharya Tattva. Who is Advaita Acharya? But we're over time, Maharaj, just letting you know, and there is no short answer to that. How about we keep it for a good, substantial answer?
Okay,
Next time?
Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
5 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. And so, Savitri, does this apply to your question too? Sunday, 5 a.m.?
What's the question, Savitri?
You can ask the question.
On Sunday, I can ask.
Okay, you keep it secret till then. But you're outside now. You're outside a church.
Yes, in my hometown in Basel.
In Basel. All right. We saw Switzerland 2 days ago from the mountain, but only saw the mountains from a distance. We were also in the mountains, but the Italian side, not the Swiss side. Hare Krishna. All right, well, it's a good job you reminded us that we're over time. And yes, well, this is from Home Comfort. This is from Seva Rup Devirasi. So you can also just make a note, the Mayeshvari. You can maybe just copy that out if you like. From Home Comfort, a couple of quotes from the Seva Rupa Devirasi is found. So these are from Srila Guru Maharaj. All right, so dear devotees, let us continue. We are also having an active day here and active with everybody. And it is the evening in Thailand while it is early morning for Mayeshvari. It is late evening for Paramananda Prabhu and Lilamoy Prabhu. Lilamoy Prabhu is the host looking after us. Thank you very much. We appreciate you taking good care. And each of you are valuable. Wonderful to have you all here. And we'll meet again very soon. As we heard, Italy time, Sunday, 5 a.m. is our next back to basics. And in the meantime, everybody nicely chant, and nicely participate by heart in Navadip Dham Parikram. You have one special book which if you haven't already started to read, please do read Navadip Dham Mahatmya. From the very beginning, the introduction, the invitation of Gurudev, that's there all the way through. You will be very nourished, and this way we will be able to participate by heart in the programs in Navadip. Jai, wonderful Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai, wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rokha, Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai, wonderful Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai, wonderful Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, and Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Shri Navadip Dham Parikrama ki Jai, Kumkum Devidasi ki Jai, all the devotees present ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Gaur. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Sipa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namo.
Jai, Srila BR Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Don't damage our speakers, Lilamoy Prabhu. All
I'll
right,
happily do it.
Dandavat pranam to you all. Have special days and hours and moments until we meet again soon. Govinda Govinda. Krishna Krishna.
Which nice tilaka.
Oh, nice tea like Lilamoy Prabhu. You got a certificate from Lilavati. Hare Krishna.
I don't know how it stays so fresh on his forehead. I just put it like an hour ago and disappears in literally 5 minutes.
Best quality.
And cheapest price. Hare Krishna. Ashti, Dandavat Tuti Devotee, Govinda Govinda.